My husband forgot the past 8 years and now wants a divorce. I have been with my husband Josh since we were seniors in high school. We broke up shortly after high school graduation but got back together a year afterwards. We overcame long distance, educational and job difficulties, unplanned pregnancies, medical issues, everything. He is my first everything and I cannot imagine life without him. But now I have to get used to it. 2 months ago, Josh woke up next to me shocked. He asked what I was doing on his chest and who I was. He likes to sometimes wake me up saying, "Hey, who's this beautiful lady on my chest?" But this was different and he wouldn't let me touch him and he started demanding to know where he was and where a woman named Lisa was. I was confused and scared to say the least. I tried to explain that I'm his wife and that he's home safe. Josh yelled he would have never married me in a million years. He started running around our house looking at photos of us and out of the windows. He refused to let me get too close, so I called his mom and she talked to him on his phone. He freaked out that I knew his passcode and he started wailing about what was going on. I called his therapist and he was taken to the hospital. He was put on $5,150 and I had his mom come take him when it was up. When he got home a week later, he accepted that I was his wife but kept saying us being together was wrong. He didn't go to work for a bit and I noticed he was obsessively searching for a woman named Lisa who went to a college he turned down for me. I have never seen this woman and I wondered if he possibly had an affair in the past. I found messages to a number from him a week later where he begged Lisa to talk to him but she said she had no idea who he was. The phone wasn't public so he must have it memorized. I asked his mom about it and she asked him, to which he said she's the love of my life. He stopped and was so distraught he tried to take his own life. He went back to the facility and was evaluated again. I was given options but I wanted him home. So he was prescribed some medication. His sister stayed with us until he seemed stable. But Josh would act so coldly towards me, asking questions about why we got back together and how upset he was that we were. When we broke up originally, I cursed him out for 3 hours straight and later found out he had made a move on the girl he told me not to worry about. He would say he didn't know how he could love me again after all I said. He refused to do chores and would stay out into the night for hours. Over a month ago he came to me and asked for a divorce. He said when he told me that I should have found someone better after high school, and that I should have done that because he can't bring himself to love me. How can I be with someone who is so obviously embarrassed to be with the old me? I told him he's not that insecure little boy anymore and he was the love of my life. He had been publicly embarrassed years ago in regards to me. He used to be insecure that I was too good for him and that everyone knew that. My father, after meeting him, told me he was a loser. But I reminded Josh I chose him because I love him. I told him we moved past that and I thought we were good. He didn't believe me and said he couldn't imagine being happy with me. He left that night and was fine coming to get his things to move in with his sister. He looks at me with nothing but apathy and it hurts. His sister urged him to try again and he came back and I told him I don't want to throw away 10 years together over a mental break. We were both thriving career-wise and had virtually no issues up to this point. We were renovating this very house together. He agreed to try and we were fine for more than a month. It was like trying to date him again but everything seemed to moving in a positive direction. We even slept together and I thought that was proof things were great. He was so caring and attentive like I remembered, so I figured he was getting there. He initiated it and wouldn't stop telling me how beautiful I was, like he remembered. Then 3 nights ago something happened. I came home from work to find Josh sitting quietly at the kitchen table, drinking. He never does that. He had been waiting for me and then slammed divorce papers and his phone onto the table. His phone was open to text messages with explicit photos and mentioning of a night together with a woman named Lisa. Not the same one but apparently someone he met on Tinder. I will never forget the venom in his voice when he said, "Now will you divorce me?" I went to our room and locked the door and just cried. I heard him leave and his sister took him away. She texted me an apology and said she's turning him back into the facility, but I told her to just take him and I'll sign the papers but not to tell him I was. I'm floored. My mother and brother are flying to help me with this. Everyone is shocked and I cannot fathom what has happened. We had been trying for a baby too. I'm seeing if I miss my period because we did it unprotected, but now I wonder if I should get tested for STDs too. My wife can't come to terms with the fact that we are not and never will be rich. I'm at my breaking point. My wife and I met in college. She was in a marketing program, and I was in computer science. She ended up not finishing her degree, but got a fairly good starting job in the field anyway because her friend's dad hired her for his business. While she got her job through nepotism, I do know that she is talented and good at it. I finished my degree. We don't live in a high-dollar area for careers and have stayed because it's close to her family. She started out at about $35K a year, and I started out at about $65K a year. Flash forward to now. She is making $50K a year and I'm making $100K. It still doesn't feel like we are doing all that well. Sure, the bills are always paid and we can eat at the occasional nice restaurant, but we were barely able to afford a lower middle-class house. We can't afford to go on jet-setting exotic vacations. We don't live paycheck to paycheck, but the money just doesn't ever go as far as you would think. The thing is, I'm happy. I grew up dirt poor and my parents were always stressed. My wife and I never are. We have a nice albeit modest house. We can afford our small hobbies and comforts. We can go on vacations within the continental US, we just can't really afford to go to Hawaii or the Caribbean. We aren't rich, but we have it so much better than so many people. I feel truly thankful and content. She, on the other hand, has fallen deeper and deeper into depression and it's always the same thing she talks about. She wants a new car. She wants hugely expensive renovations to the house, that we don't actually need. The house was updated when we bought it. She wants to go shopping for whatever specific brand of clothes or makeup. She wants a 2-week vacation in Maui or Paris. She recently just keeps talking about how she's not where she thought she'd be at this point in life. She goes on and on about it. She compares us to our friends and how good they have it. The thing is, those friends she is comparing us to are people who come from generational wealth. They have it good because their parents handed it to them. She can't seem to come to terms with just how good we truly have it. All she can see is what we don't have. The most frustrating thing is that a lot of our financial situation, that, again, I'm comfortable with, is held back by her. She's making about as much money as she can in her field without a degree. I am making twice what she is now, and I'm not done moving up the ladder. I've tried over and over again to get her to go back to school, but she just won't. At this point it might not even matter. Her credits are so old I don't even know if they would count anymore, and she'd probably have to start over. On top of all that, she makes comments like I thought when I married a software engineer that I wouldn't have to work anymore, basically alluding to the fact that I'm not making enough to fit her lifestyle. I love her, but I'm so tired. I'm tired of coming home from a busy day at work, thinking that I'll finally get to relax and decompress, only to hear her constant negativity about money. I've talked with her so many times over the years and in so many ways, but I just can't get through to her. We've tried couples counseling, but it did little. I've begged her to do personal counseling, but she isn't interested. I'm at the end of my rope and I'll take any advice out there. At this point I almost want to tell her to divorce me already so she can find a nasty 50-year-old divorcee to be her sugar daddy. What can I do to help her accept our lot in life? Or is it time that I stop wasting energy and let her go? My husband is cheating on me with my best friend. My husband and I have been dating since I was 19 and he was 22. We've been married for 6 years now. We have 2 kids and I'm 6 months pregnant with our third. 2 years ago I found out my dad has stage 3 colon cancer. My dad is my only parent as my mom passed away when I was 12. He's my favorite human and life without him doesn't seem as colorful. His laugh is contagious and he gives these big bear hugs that seem to make all of your broken pieces feel like they're perfectly in place again. Whenever I've had a hard day he doesn't poke and prod and just lets me vent and listens. About 5 months ago we discovered the treatments aren't working for him, and in direct quote from the doctor he said months not years. Since then he's gotten progressively worse and now is losing memory. He looked at the dog he got for me on my 21st birthday and said, "Wow, that's a nice dog. Where'd you get it?" My husband has been my absolute rock. He has been there for me, holding my hand and helping me through this. He's been so loving and attentive to both my kids, and I don't get me wrong, I am a mother first always. I don't allow myself to wallow. My kids are still loved, cared for, played with, and I haven't let my load slack around the house. Once my dad got his updated prognosis my husband encouraged me to quit my job. About a month later we discovered we were pregnant again and I still hadn't let go of my job. I kept holding out for some reason. After finding out I was pregnant again he assured me it was still okay to quit my job, that honestly it would save us a small fortune on daycare costs anyways. So I did, I quit my job. My best friend and I have been friends since diapers. Her family is like my family and vice versa. My mom and her mom grew up together. We've always been solid, and right after my dad's appointment when we found out he had so little time left I drove straight to her house and she held me while I cried for hours. If there are soulmates in friend form, she was mine. Thick as thieves is what my mom used to say. This morning as I was up with my 3-year-old, he's sick, my husband's work alarm was going off. He has a few he sets, so I turned that one off and gently woke him up. He said he was up late working so he took the morning off. Rolled over and went back to sleep. As I went to turn off the remainder of his alarms I saw a text from my friend on his lock screen that said, "I'm assuming since there hasn't been an angry pregnant lady on my doorstep you haven't told her about us yet?" Time froze at that moment. I took his phone and walked away and just read their conversations. 4 months this man has been fucking my best friend. 4 months these people have been lying to my face. And I know what you're going to say, you should have seen the warning signs. But I've been clutching this phone in my hand for 2 hours and nothing. He has been so loving and attentive to me, but he always has been. So kind and gentle. There have been no late night work nights except for once in a blue moon. There has been no lingering touches between them or even glances. They act as they have since the day I first introduced them. How sick is it that she calls him her brother but she screws him? I know so many people get a moment of clarity in situations like this, but I have none. Aside from being sad about my dad, I haven't changed. I'm still a loving wife and mother. I still doted on him and my children. I talk to him about how he is doing and how his day was every freaking day. I haven't allowed the ground to swallow me whole. I know what I have to do now, but I just don't want to. I'm about to lose my family and my support system in one blow. I'll confront him tomorrow. Today I just need this last 24 hours of peace. As for her, I won't give her the satisfaction of a response. I don't care why she did it. She did it and it's done. I was always the friend who cleaned up her messes. After today I will cut her out of my life like she never mattered at all. This has to be the hardest storm I'll ever weather, but damn it I know it'll sail through it. If not for me, for my children. I hooked up with my stepbrother and I'm completely panicking. I'm 20 and my stepbrother is also 20, he's 5 months older. Our parents only got married a few years ago, so we only lived in the same house for 1 year. We weren't very close at all, more like awkward acquaintances, but we went to the same college. It's a small college near our town where basically everyone goes who stays in the area. We both are in the business school and so we're in a lot of the same classes and activities, so we ended up having similar friends. We got closer as friends/siblings while in school, though my best friend is my roommate. We were all at a bar last Saturday and my stepbrother was being really nice after a guy I was supposed to meet up with never showed up. He kept buying me drinks and laughing at my jokes and I was a little drunk and I kissed him. He seemed really into it and we went back to his place and had sex. It was really good and he was complimenting me so much and I was kind of bummed for a minute that he's not like some random guy, but then the second it was over I left and haven't answered his texts since, and I've been nauseous ever since. I literally feel like the grossest person in the world. I don't know if I just initiated this because no one here has really liked me and I was feeling desperate or what. I feel so guilty and I don't know if I should tell my mom or block him or what. I'm going back and forth between having an anxiety attack and remembering sexual things about him. WTF. I don't know if I should even transfer. Sorry for the rant, I'm in such a tailspin. Should I cut him off? Tell my mom? Pretend it never happened and just distance myself? Try to go back to being friends? I texted him and we're meeting up today to talk. We'll update how it goes. Update, I went to the class that we're in together this morning. I skipped it on Monday because I was freaking out, and after we talked, he seemed really nervous and stressed and was worried that I wasn't okay. I told him how much I was freaking out. I even told him about this post, haha. I asked him and he admitted that he did have feelings for me but was never going to act on them and was shocked when I kissed him. I didn't tell him anything about my feelings but said I appreciated his honesty but it can't happen again. He was okay with that and basically said he'll do whatever I want going forward. I'm a little bummed because I wish that he was a regular person, as in my good friend not living in my house during winter break, and I could give it a shot, part of the reason I think I avoided answering him for so long. He's one of the kindest people I know and I'm obviously attracted to him. But the comments have solidified for me that it's not worth it to hurt my mom and potentially cause a rift in my family forever, not when we can stop right now and stay friends. Some people were saying to just be friends with benefits but I think we're way too close for that and it would turn into dating, so that won't work. I do know this will probably be an issue with anyone else we date. However, I think it would have been an issue anyways. We hang out a lot, he's always doing things to help me, picking me up at night, opening the doors for me, etc. And obviously some of that will have to stop if either of us start dating someone else. For now we agreed to just stay friends like before and see how things go. As far as my mom goes, she really pushes for us to be a family. My dad isn't in the picture and my stepdad has kind of taken on the role of dad with my siblings. I don't think of him as my dad, but they do send me money every month, come visit me at school, and pay for my apartment, so I'm not exactly a full adult either, free to just completely make my own choices. And for the people saying he got me drunk and took advantage of me, we were at a college bar, everyone was drunk, he was the same level as me, and I wasn't so drunk that I couldn't remember everything, so I don't think that's the case. For people saying this is fake, it's not. There's plenty of comments showing how this happens more than I realized, and if it was I'm sure this update would be more exciting. We're going to see how it goes. We're acting normal for now, and I'll update this if anything major happens.